Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dugout Daily. I'm Charlie, and I'm joined by Bernard. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. The sun's out. What more can we say? Very, very rare these days.
Yeah. It's not normally we'd be doing a match reaction at 5 to 12 on a Saturday morning, but we've just not had the chance throughout the week. Me or Bernard have both been busy, so now's the time to do it, and it's probably the last chance before the big game tomorrow. So we'll get
all be
straight to it.
forgotten by tomorrow, won't we, mate? We'll moved on and bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. So we'll get going then. Peterborough 0, City 2. What was your thoughts on the game, Bernard?
Yeah, I was down there. I'm glad it sort of went off pretty well. I think I've been watching or reading social media since. I think the Peterborough fans loved it, and I think what happened, I sort of was hoping was going to happen. You know, City did enough to win it without losing face, and Peterborough came out of it with a lot of credit. And I think that's all you can ask in these games. You know, City were embarrassed by a 2-0 victory. You know, it was adequate, and Peterborough had their day in the sun, and I'm glad they did. And obviously, but the best team won, of course. But Peterborough certainly, put more of an effort than some Premier League teams. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We'll start with the team news then, starting with City. Ederson in goal, a back four of Cancello, Diaz, Ake, and Zinchenko, who was given the armband as well. Foden, Fernandinho, and Gundogan in the middle, with Mahrez, Jesus, and Grealish as the front three. What was your thoughts on the team, Bernard?
Yeah, I got seven right in my predicted team, but obviously it came home to roost, didn't it, mate? I didn't have Diaz down in my starting lineup, and it's obviously ended up in disaster, didn't it? Let's be fair about it. I think most City fans didn't expect Diaz to play, so we're not talking in hindsight, about this injury. Most of us wouldn't have played him. It's as simple as that. Obviously, this thing could have happened in training, or it could have happened any time. I suppose it could have happened in the first 5 minutes of the derby, which would have been even worse, wouldn't it? But it was a bit disappointing. A strong team, which we expected. A keeper, I didn't expect Ederson to play. In all fairness, I thought, but he didn't want to risk. He didn't want to risk Carson and Slicker. Obviously, that was the point. I can understand that. I mean, Carson. That game he played, was it Newcastle? Was it 4-3?
Yeah.
He wasn't great, and obviously Slicker's only a young lad, so he didn't want to take the chance on Slicker. So probably fair enough. But a strong team. Unfortunately, it did backfire a little bit. With Aki got injured as well, although that's hopefully not as bad as Diaz's injury. So we're down to the bare bones after that, aren't we, mate? If anything happens to Stones and Laporte, we're down to Walker and Fernandinho in a very critical time of the season. So let's fingers crossed. Aki's okay and Diaz gets back at ASAP.
Yeah. And then the Peterborough team, to be honest, I didn't know many Peterborough players. I'd heard of one or two. But it was Bender in goal, a back three of Knight, Edwards and Kent. Ward was right wing back. Coulson was left wing back, with Grant and Fuchs in the midfield. Poku on the right. Schmodix on the left, with Ricky J. Jones, I think it is, up top. What was your thoughts on the Peterborough team?
Yeah, like you, mate. I didn't know much about him. I'd heard of some good things on that Ricky J. Jones. He come through the youth ranks, hadn't he? He was a junior there. There's some pictures in the programme, obviously, where he was about 12 or 13, obviously playing for Peterborough as well. So that was nice to see. But like yourself, I didn't really know too much about it. But I think it was a fairly strong team. I don't think he obviously they've got their own problems, of course, in the Championship. It doesn't, if they get out of that, it'll be a minor miracle of get out of relegation zone at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, he had to give. Why not? I mean, I think they enjoyed it. I think the players enjoyed it, and the fans enjoyed it, and good luck to them.
Yeah. We'll move on to the stats then, and the attack momentum. Of course, the stats look like this: 24% possession to 76, 5 shots to 23, 3 shots on target to 5. 1 shot off target to 12, 1 block shot to 6, 1 corner to 14, 3 offsides to none, 8 fouls to 7, 1 yellow card to 2, no big chances to 2, no big chances missed to 1, no counter-attacks to 1, no counter-attack shots to 1, 4 shots inside the box to 17, 1 shot outside the box to 6, 3 saves each, 195 passes to 609, 61% accurate passes to 87%, 36% accurate long balls to 56%, 29% successful dribbles, accurate crosses, to 24%, 38% successful dribbles to 52%, 122 times Peterborough lost possession, 135 for City, 44 duels won to 56, 11 aerial duels won to 16, 22 tackles to 17, 10 interceptions to 6, and 25 clearances to 6 as well. What was your thoughts on the stats, Bernard?
Yeah, well, we've seen that. I mean, as I think we said before, didn't we? The Premier League. Premier League teams probably some of them struggle to get those stats. So all credit to Peterborough. I think the conditions suited them as well. The pitch wasn't great, was it? Which obviously played to their advantage at that level. Obviously, we want to zip the ball about. And we could, but obviously there was always. It wasn't one of the pitches we're used to playing on. And all credit to Peterborough. They didn't do it deliberately. That's just how the pitch is. That's just the state it gets in at obviously with their sort of level of football. So yeah, I think they should be proud of that. I'd say we didn't certainly batter them on the pitch, and the stats stand up to any of a lot of games we played this season. So all credit to them.
Yeah. And then the attack momentum looks like this. Peterborough with some very minor periods in the game. It's all City there based on the stats, isn't it?
Yeah, I must admit, when they went off at arse, I've not watched the game back. It's just based on being there, watching the game. I've not had the time or energy to watch it all back again, which I do sometimes manage to do. But yeah, I thought that first half, I thought they almost give as good as they got. But obviously, the stats don't bear that up, do they? But you got that. I got that feeling at the ground at 0-0. They thoroughly deserved it, and they probably had as many clear-cut chances as we had in that first half. But obviously, the stats aren't reflecting that. But as I said, it is difficult when you're there. You get a different view, I think. I don't know what your thoughts were of that first half. Have you?
Yeah,
you thought we should have been going in 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 or whatever. I thought 0-0 was a thoroughly correct score at half time.
Yeah, the last couple of games we haven't been great in the first half. Peterborough, Everton.
This is a worry. This is why we have to fly out of the traps when we play a certain team very soon.
Yeah. And then the updated most goal contributions. Mahrez with 26, Foden 18, Sterling 17, De Bruyne 15, Jesus with 14, Bernardo 12, Bernardo 13, Gundogan 12, and Cancello 11. We'll move on to the keepers then, the players then, starting with the keeper, Ederson in between the sticks, 3 saves, 1 out of 1 successful runouts, 1 high claim, 3 saves from inside the box, 24 touches, 81% accurate passes, 3 out of 6 accurate long balls as well. Thoughts on Ederson's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, he made two good saves, didn't he? I think he made a great save at 0-0. Is it Fuchs for them, Kate? He made a great save at that stage to keep it to 0-0. And when we're 2-0, he made another good save, which obviously, if he hadn't have done it, it would have been 2-1, which would have obviously put them back in it. We probably would have stepped up a gear and made it 3-1 or whatever. But no, I thought it's a good job Ederson played in the end. I think if Slicker certainly Carson had been in, we might have found ourselves shipping a couple of goals. So I thought Ederson played very, very well.
Yeah. Into the back four then, of course, right back was Cancello. His stats look like this: 1 interception, 2 tackles. He was dribbled past once. 6 out of 14 ground duels were won. 20 times he lost possession. 97 touches, 88% accurate passes. 1 key pass, 2 out of 5 accurate crosses. 1 out of 2 accurate long balls. 1 shot blocked, and 4 out of 10 successful dribble attempts. Thoughts on Cancello's performance, Bernard?
I've yet to see him really have a good game on the right-hand side, which is supposed to be his favourite spot, of course. I'd say he's been, setting things alight, certainly up to Christmas time on the left-hand side. Yeah. But I think he's struggled. I think the fact that he doesn't do it often, and obviously he's running into Mahrez up that side, is it? I don't think they're clicking together as such. I don't think they know each other's play well enough for it to work properly. He improves the second half, but I think that was based on the side of the pitch. I think his side of the pitch, the first half, was a bit dodgy compared to the second half. I think it was easier to play in the second half. I think the pitch was far better, so it was okay. But I'm not overly convinced on the right hand side. And as I said, I think it's because he must have played there 4 or 5 times in the time he's been with us. Probably not played that many times on that right hand side. It takes some adapting, doesn't it? To when you're so used to playing on the left for so many games, and then all of a sudden you're flung over the other side. And as I said, I don't think he's linking up with Mahrez particularly well on that side either. So yeah, it was okay. But again, even though he is playing in his right position, he seems to be playing out of position, if you can understand what I'm getting at. And I don't think he's as comfortable now as he is on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Into the 2 centre-backs then, starting with Ruben Diaz. Of course, he went off at half-time. 2 out of 4 aerial duels were won. 4 times he lost possession, 49 touches, 94% accurate passes, none out of 1 accurate crosses, none out of 1 accurate long balls as well. Thoughts on Ruben Diaz's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, he was just there, wasn't he, mate? I don't think we can say that much about him. He was there and then he wasn't. It was just one of those things. It wasn't anything spectacular. I think Aki got most of the sort of runs on him and struggled a little bit more. But I think that's just because Ruben Diaz didn't get tested that much, and I don't know where he picked up the injury or what stage he picked up the injury. I mean, was it mentioned on TV that he had an injury before half time? Did anyone pick up on it or at all? So it's even hard to tell he had an injury, wasn't it? So that sort of shows how much really he sort of was noticed. Not because he was rubbish, just because he was just doing a steady job and nothing spectacular. So yeah, it's hard to judge on half a game, but he probably might have been carrying the injury for a little while as well. But fortunately, he wasn't put under any great pressure from Peterborough.
Yeah. And next to him, of course, Nathan Ake. His stats look like this: 1 blocked shot, none out of 1 ground duels were won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels were won, 4 times he lost possession, 1 foul, 38 touches, 89% accurate passes as well. Thoughts on Nathan Ake's performance?
I think he struggled again. Obviously he picked his injury up partway through the first half, but he'd already been embarrassed a little bit by that Fuchs guy where Ederson made that save. And I thought, then he got booked, didn't he? He got booked after about 17 minutes, very early doors anyway, for a clumsy tackle. He just rushed across. And I think it's possibly one of the poorest displays I've seen from Aki. Okay, he was only on for 1 half. He never had a chance to redeem himself, if you like. But I just think he struggled with that pitch as well. I just think he's a bit of a classy player for me, and he probably struggled in a little bit of the heavy going on the pitch. But it was possibly one of the worst games I've seen him play.
Yeah. And he tweeted after the game, "In the hat for the next round, recover and prepare for a few big weeks ahead. Thanks for all the support." And then to left back, it was nice to see him with the armband on. Alexander Zinchenko. His stats look like this: 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, 7 tackles. He was dribbled past once, 7 out of 8 ground duels were won, none out of 2 aerial duels were won. 18 times he lost possession, 104 touches, 82% accurate passes, 1 key pass, none out of 4 accurate crosses, 2 out of 8 accurate long balls, 2 shots off target, and 1 shot blocked. What was your thoughts on Zinchenko's performance, Bernie?
Yeah, I think we said before we hoped to get if his head was right, he'd get the captaincy and start the game, which is what they did. And all credit to him, he did start off very well, but City didn't as a team, so he didn't do anything worse than anybody else did. We just weren't quite at it that first half, and I think he settled down certainly a lot better the second half. But hey, given the circumstances, you'd be churlish to sort of pick on him and say, he was as good as anyone else in the white shirt or the cream shirt or whatever colour it is. I don't know yet. What colour is it? Is it white? I don't know. I've got one up there. he was as good as anyone else, put it that way. And considering the circumstances, all credit to him.
Yeah. About the captaincy, Fernandinho offered the captain's armband to Alexander Zinchenko tonight in a sign of solidarity and support. And also, Pep Guardiola said, our captain, Fernandinho, decided to give the captain's armband to him to show how important is the situation in Ukraine. All of the club is behind this gesture, behind our captain to represent his country. We'll move on to the regular captain then, Fernandinho. His stats look like this: 89 touches, 82% accurate passes, 2 key passes, 6 out of 7 accurate long balls, none out of 1 successful dribble attempts, 3 out of 7 ground duels were won, 2 out of 5 aerial duels were won, 18 times he lost possession, 2 fouls, 1 interception, 3 tackles, and he was dribbled past once as well. Thoughts on Fernandinho's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, I think he was up for the battle, isn't he? And it wasn't going to be a smooth, classy game, was it, against Peterborough? And he was up for the battle, and just when I say battle, I thought Peterborough were excellent. I don't think they were dirty in any way whatsoever. If anything, we were fouling them more than they were fouling us on the night. And Fernandinho, did he get booked? Did he get booked on the night? Ferner? 3 of our guys got booked. I can't remember. I know Aki got booked. I can't remember who the other 2 guys who got booked were, but whether Ferner got a booking, I'm not sure. But it's the sort of game he likes. He can battle in that sense a bit. And I think like the rest of the City team, he sort of grew into it. Didn't have a great first half, but grew into it, and a couple of key passes, I think, on those stats there. Yeah, so these are the sort of games he'll enjoy, because these are the sort of games he'll get now. He's not going to get any of the really big ones unless something happens to Rodri or something like that. So, yeah, I think he enjoyed himself.
Yeah. And then next, he tweeted after the game, job done tonight, on to the next one. #ComeOnCity. Next up then is some people calling the Stockport Iniesta. It is Phil Foden. His stats look like this. He got 2 assists on the night, 72 touches, 89% accurate passes, 4 key passes, none out of 2 accurate crosses, 2 out of 5 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 4 out of 6 successful dribble attempts, 7 out of 10 ground duels were won, none out of 1 aerial duels were won, 11 times he lost possession, 1 foul, he was fouled twice, 1 interception and 1 tackle as well. Thoughts on Foden's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, I think similar to the last 3 or 4 games, he's showing a little bit more of his old self, and he's another one who enjoyed that sort of battle against Peterborough, and he grew into it again. That ball, obviously, the ball for the goal for Grealish was absolutely superb, and we want more of that. Obviously, if KDB's not around, you do want your players like Foden to produce that sort of quality, and that's what he did. When he got the chance, he had a header right at the end, which was at our end, and it was a bit naff, to be honest with you. He was nowhere near the goal, but I thought he was. We'll probably go into man of the match later on, but he's one of our best 2 or 3 players anyway on the night. A good game again for him, which is good to see.
Yeah. And then in midfield, next to him, Ilkay Gundogan. His stats look like this: 69 touches, 87% accurate passes, 3 key passes, 2 out of 7 accurate crosses, 2 out of 2 accurate long balls, 2 shots off target, 3 shots blocked, 3 out of 3 successful dribble attempts. 4 out of 7 ground duels were won. 1 out of 1 aerial duels were won. 14 times he lost possession. 1 interception, 1 tackle, and he was dribbled past once as well. Thoughts on Gundogan's performance, Bernard?
Yeah, because again, he's another one who isn't seen, Pep isn't sort of picking him on a regular basis, so he has to come in and try and make an impression. I thought he was one of the better, like Phil Foden. I thought he was one of the better ones. He could have had a goal or two, perhaps one or two of his finishes weren't great, but at least he's in and around the box. And that's what we want him. That's where we want him to be, because we know he's quite capable of scoring goals. And it just simple with Gundogan. Just say nothing spectacular. No Foden type long balls, raking balls in 40-yard balls across to a City player. He just worked hard in that middle, and it's good to see. Even though he's not being picked that often, he comes in and still does a job.
Yeah. Into the attackers then. Next up, Riyad Mahrez. His stats look like this. He scored a goal. 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, 1 shot blocked, 3 out of 4 successful dribble attempts, 79 touches, 90% accurate passes, 3 key passes, 3 out of 10 accurate crosses, 1 out of 2 accurate long balls, 4 out of 9 ground duels were won, 21 times he lost possession, 2 fouls, 1 tackle as well. Thoughts on Riyad Mahrez's performance?
These are the sort of games where sometimes he disappears, these sort of against so-called lesser opposition, etc. And obviously that pitch, it certainly didn't suit his play. But he pops up with a good. It was a good goal. I give him. I think he sort of played it through the defender's legs. I think he aimed to do that because the goalie was unsighted. But perhaps I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know. But it was a goal that sort of broke the deadlock, and it was a crucial goal. So although a lot of things like his crossing was pretty poor, I think those stats showed that, didn't they? They were very, very poor indeed. Generally, he has that little bit of quality, and he had that little bit of quality to get us in the lead. And once we're in the lead, we weren't. There was no problem. We're never going to lose that or draw it, if you like, once we took that 1-goal lead. And all credit to him, as I say, another guy who grew into it, and another guy who probably struggled the first half, because I think it was a little bit muddier again down his side. It was fine, as I say, and he scored a goal, so that's fair enough. He scores a goal. If he plays tomorrow and scores a goal, that'll be good, because he's not scored against United, has in the last 11 appearances against them. So I dread to think. So hopefully he'll add another 1 or 2 tomorrow as well.
Yeah. He's now having the best goal scoring season in his professional career as well. Of course, he has been taking penalties and stuff like that for us. That is expected to be fair.
Must have half a dozen penalties. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah,
lose
something
track,
like that. Yeah, something like that. Onto the left-hand side then, Jack Grealish. His stats look like this. He scored the 2nd goal, 2 shots on target, 1 shot off target, 2 out of 4 successful dribble attempts, 56 touches, 84% accurate passes, 5 key passes, 5 out of 9 ground duels were won, 1 out of 3 aerial duels were won, 9 times he lost possession, 1 foul, he was fouled 3 times and dribbled past once as well. Thoughts on Grealish's performance?
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him. Because he's not playing right. He got that injury, then he got in trouble, and he's not played for a while. And obviously, against that sort of team, everyone expects him to do very, very well. And for me, he very rarely loses a ball. He doesn't do anything spectacular with it sometimes, but once he's got the ball, at least he'll find a City player with a pass, or even if it's only a 10-yard pass or a 5-yard pass, he can hang on to that ball. And a cracking goal. He did what is fantastic control to take it down. Very Mahrez-esque, of course, and we know Grealish can do that. Superb goal, and again, a bit like Mahrez. That sort of made the difference. Obviously, 2-0, it was all 1-0. It was all over. 2-0, it's definitely all over. And he needed it. I think he needed it, mate, because he's still getting a lot of stick. I think he's getting a lot of stick, not just from opposing fans, but City fans as well. And it certainly won't do him any harm going forward. Probably hasn't put him into Pep's first team for the next game, but yeah, that, it'll make him a lot happier, and perhaps he'll sort of bang on from there and sort of have a great end to the season.
Yeah. He tweeted after the game, cheers for thank you for the assist, my little mate. Good win and through to the quarters. We got some quotes as well from his post-match interview about Foden's assist for the goal. He said, "You know what's funny? We were on the coach on the way here, and I sat next to Phil. We were scrolling through Twitter, and a video of Messi came up, just like Messi." He also said, "I expect more. I want to get a lot more. I've been speaking with the manager, and he's been helping. I want to get goals and assists, but he said it's not all about that. He trusted me in a lot of big games, which I feel I've done all right in." He also said, "I love playing with Phil Foden. We're so close off the pitch, a great connection. I was saying to him before the game, is there any chance of you assisting me or what? Luckily, it happened." He also said, "Phil Foden is a brilliant player and I love playing with him. I think he's one of the best youngsters in the world and I think it's only the start for him." He also said on Zinchenko, "It's obviously a difficult time for him and everyone associated with Ukraine. We've tried to be there for him as much as we can. I have the utmost respect for him. Comes into training every day. Trains his hardest, works his socks off." And finally, he says, "It was a lovely gesture from Fernandinho and Pep to give him the captain's armband versus Peterborough. He didn't let us down. We're going to be there for him. A brilliant member of the squad and a brilliant player as well." We'll move on to Gabriel Jesus then. His stats look like this: 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, none out of 3 successful dribble attempts, 39 touches, 81% accurate passes, 1 out of 1 accurate long balls, 1 out of 5 ground duels were won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels were won, 10 times he lost possession, and 1 tackle as well. Thoughts on Jesus' performance, Bernard?
Yeah, similar to Aki for me. I don't think he quite got going in this one. He wasn't his normal self. Again, similar to Aki, he's not getting much. He's not getting much game time. So no surprise really. But again, the pitch wouldn't have helped his style of play. I was again a little bit disappointed. I thought it was one of his lesser games, and a game where perhaps he wanted to, perhaps he tried too hard. Perhaps he wanted to show off. And sometimes if you try too hard and don't play your natural self and are worried about a game, because he needs to get back into Pep's mind. He needs to get back being, at least considered for the first team. At the moment, he doesn't really get talked about by obviously Pep, who picks the team, and obviously even the fans seem to have forgot about him as well. Because he's just not been playing. He needs to get back in there, and I think he could have done with a good game. He didn't get one. As I say, it might just because of lack of recent match practice, or as I said, it might be playing on his mind a little bit, which won't do him any good. He'll have to sort himself out.
Yeah. On to the 2 substitutes then. The first one being Aymeric Laporte. His stats look like this. He was on for 45 minutes, 4 clearances, 1 tackle, 1 last man tackle, 3 out of 3 ground duels were won, 6 out of 7 aerial duels were won, 3 times he lost possession. He was fouled twice, 48 touches, 92% accurate passes, 2 out of 3 accurate long balls, 2 shots off target, and 1 big chance missed as well. What was your thoughts on Laporte's performance, Bernard?
No, we missed that one at the end, mate. I have no idea. I don't know what happened there. I don't know who was behind. Someone behind him as well might have put it in as well. I can't remember who was stuck behind him late on, but how we missed that. I mean, it was at our end. I have no idea. But he came on, and I think Peterborough, they started the second half really well from memory. I think they had that long throw, didn't they, that nearly brought a goal, nearly say 0-0. Sorry. Was it 0-0 at the time? Yeah, I think it was. Was it 0-0? Yeah, it was 0-0 at the time, wasn't it? Because I think they started really well that first 5 or 10 minutes. And he did okay, but obviously after that, Peterborough weren't really a force, so Laporte could sort of bring you out and sort of concentrate more on the attacking side. And that's probably why he was in the 6-yard box in the 92nd minute, whatever it was. So, yeah, he was okay, but he didn't have to face a sort of an energetic Peterborough. He sort of came on when they were running out of steam a little bit. So, but he did okay, he did fine.
Yeah. And then next to him in the second half, with both centre-backs going off injured, John Stones, his stats look like this. He was on the pitch for 45 minutes, 1 clearance, 29 touches, 100% accurate passes, 1 key pass, 2 out of 2 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created as well. Thoughts on John Stones' performance, Bernard?
Yeah, a bit quiet, but he was more the stopper, while Laporte was more the the creating stuff, and that's going to be our partnership for the derby, of course, unless Pep springs a surprise or there's an injury. Obviously, it's going to be Stones and Laporte, and Stones will let Laporte do his bit. Laporte will let Stones do his bit, and that's I'm quite happy with that. I'm disappointed, obviously, with Diaz, but yeah, again, like Laporte, he came on for the second half and Peterborough were tiring, but I think he did a pretty good job from memory. Say 100% passes and some duels won as well. I did. He very rarely. Certainly no mistakes from Mr. Stones. We'll see how we do go forward. But yeah, it must have been funny because I thought it would have played from the start. I thought it was going to be on for the whole game. So whether he was disappointed or not, I don't know. Do they get disappointed footballers at that level, at that sort of thing? You probably do, don't you? Everyone wants to play, don't they? You all want to play, but no problem. I mean, if you're going to lose 2 centre halves, Aki and Diaz, I don't think you can ask much more than Stones and Laporte to come on and take the place.
Yeah. We'll move on to Pep then. We got some quotes before we talk about him. He said, there were brilliant goals, the quality of Riyad and the second goal the same. It was good, we created chances, all of them were brilliant. He also said Riyad always had this quality in the final third. He's the best we have. He scored a fantastic goal, so proud of the game he played. He also said that pass from Phil was excellent. The control was excellent from Jack, who was aggressive in the final third and is back from injury. He also said on Mahrez, he loves football. He loves to play football. For him, it's not a profession, it's a joy. That's why he would play tomorrow, day after tomorrow, every single game, every single day. He has an incredible quality up front. And finally, all the people in Peterborough, not just our fans, shown Zinchenko warm. Thank you so much to people in Peterborough. The gesture to support Alex, all the Ukrainian citizens. Hopefully this nightmare can finish as soon as possible. Did Pep get it right on Tuesday?
Well, we won. So, yeah, unfortunately, he said he'd probably, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on whether he got it right with Diaz, because it may have happened anyway at some stage. It may have been there, ready to happen. In hamstrings, it's just usually just something that, I don't know, is it not warmed up properly? I don't know. I'm not a medical person, Charlie. You might know a bit more if you've done anything like that, but hamstrings go, don't they? It's, whether it's in training or whatever, you can do all the warm-ups you want, but if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. He's not very injury-prone, is he, Diaz? I don't think he's missed that many games since he's been at City.
No.
So it is disappointing. But Pep, as I say, Pep, all right, it just seemed a strange decision to play Diaz. I would say most people thought it was going to be Stones and Aki as the centre, and even people were thinking Stones at right back. So obviously, then Diaz would have probably Stones at right back, Aki and Laporte. So even in that scheme, even with Stones playing right back, a lot of people didn't think Diaz would play. So yes, he got it right. We did what we had to do to win the game. It wasn't. We didn't batter him, of course. We didn't batter him, but it was just a matter of getting through the game and giving players time in the legs, like Jesus and players like that, who perhaps didn't benefit as much as they should do. But he got it right. But as I say, I think we're a bit. I don't think anyone's slagging him off for the Diaz thing. It just happened. It is one of those things, but it's just unfortunate. And yeah, if he hadn't played him, he might be fine, or say he might have picked up in training or within 5 minutes of the derby starting. So perhaps it was a good thing.
Yeah. Imagine 5 minutes in, Ruben Diaz having to go off with injury. That would be disappointing. We'll move on to Peterborough then. How do you think they played, Bernard?
Yeah, as I said, all credit to them. They're battling for their lives in the Championship. But as far as football's concerned, I thought City were dirtier on the night. I thought City would play. I'm not sure how the foul count went. I don't look at those stats, but I just got the feeling that it was a good, clean game, and the Peterborough players played very, very well and enjoyed it thoroughly. Thoroughly deserved to get out of it with the pride intact, which is what they did. And yeah, all credit to the manager and all credit to the team. I think they've got a hell of a struggle. I can't see them staying up. I think they'll be back in the first division next season, unless there's a minor miracle.
Yeah.
But certainly had at least, on another day they probably could have scored 1 or 2 goals against us. They did create things, even though that first chart we looked at very early doors when we started, this didn't show much. I think they did. I think they certainly had me not worried, but obviously even if they score a goal, you always think, well, that's no problem. We'll go up the other end and score one soon enough. But all credit to them. I was quite impressed just by the fact that they didn't turn dirt. They didn't try and kick us or anything like that. They just tried to play football, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and fair play to him for doing that as well. Next up, we will be looking at the referee. You just said it was a clean game. Referee Andy Madley. Andy Madley? Sorry. How do you think he did?
Yeah, was it 3 cards, 4 cards? I can't remember. He doesn't mind showing a card, Mr. Madley, but as I said, it was for City players rather than Peterborough players, which is fair enough. Yeah. As I said, I don't remember any Peterborough players getting done for any, sort of away with anything where they should have been booked. I thought it was fine. He punished us, which is as it should be. Perhaps we're the big boys, so perhaps Andy Madley just sort of did that. But I don't think there was too much wrong, mate. I mean, I don't think there's anything. I assume the goal was fine. The lino did his job, and Grealish went through. I'm assuming he wasn't offside. I've not seen any complaints about it or anything like that. But no, I thought it was fair. He may have leaned slightly towards Peterborough, but so what? I mean, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be neutral, of course you are. But we're all human beings at the end of the day, and as a referee, you probably would tend, if you've got neutrality, you would tend still to favour one more than the other. I thought it was okay. What did you think, Charlie? I mean, as I said, being there, I didn't. There's no real decisions that we booed or Peterborough booed or anything like that. So I think it went okay.
Yeah, he didn't have much to do. I think the Ake yellow card was fair enough.
I don't think he showed a yellow unnecessarily. And to be honest with you, because certainly Peterborough, they try to play football, so there's no need for any real referee getting involved. He let things flow, and quite rightly, because it wasn't a dirty game.
Yeah. We'll go to the fans then. Another sold out away end for City. 274-mile round trip from each ground. Great support again from City, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and Peterborough fans are excellent. I mean, obviously, sometimes you can't hear them where we are. We're singing, and you can't really hear what's going on. But I had the feeling they were singing for most of the game. The Peterborough fans in their end. My only disappointment is, there's a lot of people couldn't get to this Peterborough game who wanted tickets. So there's a few empty seats around me. It looked full there, but I mean, obviously, it's when you stand up in seated stands, as you know, the gaps get covered up. That's what happens. And there was still quite a few seats around. I mean, I was in the corner, so I was probably one of the last people to get a ticket. I was in the right-hand side of the goal, right-hand side of, where the goal was. And yeah, there's at least 10 or 15 spots near me where people could have been stood, and there was nobody there. So that is disappointing that people are actually getting tickets or somehow and not turning up at the games. But the guys that are there, yeah, of course, they get behind City. Of course they do. It's really good. There's a couple of when I was waiting, they were waiting for the coach to come in. There was some younger lads, let's say, I'm not picking on young lads, but teenagers, and they were singing the Munich song and stuff like this while the Peterborough fans were waiting for the coach to come in. It's not a good look. We don't need it. We don't need that. And we know it's a derby this week, but is there any need for that? We don't sing it in the ground, of course we don't, but they were singing it on the concourse, some young lads. But obviously, once the concourse filled up, I was in quite early. Obviously, I didn't hear anything about Munich or anything like that. But yeah, there is a tendency, mate, and I do worry going forward, because some of these younger lads, if that's what's going to go on, it may get worse as time passes. Because they're only supposed, it is a bit worrying. Yes, probably old guys would join in, but the only ones I saw, there's no need for it. There's no need to. I mean, Peterborough fans, why would you have a go at Peterborough fans and F and Jeff at them? I don't understand the logic, but they've had a few drinks, or they might have other substances. I'm not too sure, but I saw a bit of it outside the ground, mate, and I don't like that side of it. It puts me off, to be honest with you. It puts me off as a going to these things if you have to put up with, and if I said something, I'd probably, there's like six teenagers, what stick am I going to get? Even if I'm a City fan, I'm still probably going to get stick off them. So what do you do? But as I said, as you say, most 95% of that end were excellent, but there are the odd idiots, which there always are. But it is disappointing to see, certainly when you travel to somewhere like Peterborough, you don't need to be that, and you don't need to do it. And of course, I won't go in Mary D's this week, because I know you'll get all the songs that about United. I don't want to listen to it. I don't think it's good enough. So I'll avoid Mary D's like the plague this week. Because it's just a nasty atmosphere. I don't want it now. I've been through it, mate. I've been through it as a teenager in my 20s. I was involved in lots of things, not deliberately. I just got mixed up in stuff, as you do if you go to away games, etc. But I don't think there's a need for it, and I think it needs stamping down on. And some of the guys, again, there was, 3 lads, did you see them running on the pitch at the end? Not young lads, again, why? You shouldn't be. One got a Foden shirt, and he got applauded by some of the City fans, but he shouldn't be on the pitch. It's simple as that. He run up to the halfway line, dodged a few, and everyone was cheering him because he dodged the stewards. It's just a bit worrying for me going forward that this seems to be tends to be growing, and it's a little bit sad. I can understand emotion, but that isn't emotion. You beat Peterborough 2-0. You're not going. It's not as it's obviously a planned thing, and he just wants to get on the pitch. And I think they should be punished some way, because it needs to be sort of say, right, from this date, anyone coming on the pitch, you will be banned for half a season or a full season or whatever. You're just not allowed to do it. It's as simple as that. Reiterate it. But yeah, sorry, I've waffled on a little. I've gone off track a little bit. I'm sorry, mate, but the fans are excellent. Of course they are, but like most clubs, most big clubs, we will have an element that lets us down, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah. Man of the match then. Who are you giving it to?
Yeah, I'd have to give it Foden. I'd have to give it Phil Foden. He's got to be man of the match for me. Mahrez was probably close behind. And I was looking at the ratings of Stuart Brennan. He rated Fernandinho very highly as well, but I wasn't as enamoured with Ferner as the others. So yeah, I mean, you'd probably give it Zinchenko for sympathy, wouldn't you? But I go back to Phil Foden. He was my highest scorer on the night, and as my man of the match.
Yeah. Some news about a lone player, Morgan Rogers, who's on loan at Bournemouth at the moment, has returned to City and he's back training with the club, but he's technically remaining on loan at Bournemouth, so he can't play any professional football for the rest of the season, which is it's an odd situation to be in, to be honest, for Morgan Rogers.
Especially, obviously, you would have thought if there was a problem, it would have been sorted out in the January when he could have probably come back and played, couldn't he? I assume in the January window, you can make alterations. So Very odd situation. But something may have happened since. If something's happened since that we don't know about, obviously, it might have been something off the pitch, mightn't it? That will happen, and we know it happens. We have enough problems ourselves, don't we? With our City players. So City players at other clubs, it's bound to happen. You might get in a fracas with someone or cause some trouble. But we'll probably never know unless some grasses to the newspapers.
And then the draw was on Thursday night, and we'll be playing Southampton away in the quarterfinals. What's your thoughts on that draw?
Well, it's not an easy game, is it, mate? I mean, we should have. All credit to them. I think they played very well at the Etihad. I thought they probably deserved the draw at the Etihad. Probably could have won. But at their place, we should have beat them. We should have beat them. That was disappointing. So I'm not worried from that aspect of it because we can go there and beat them. But it's not the easiest draw, but it's just the travelling. I mean, I'm at Palace on the Monday, so if I do get a ticket for the Southampton game, it could be anyway between Friday and Monday, couldn't it? The same weekend, if you like, after the Palace game. So that's going to be another jank, isn't it? Palace, which is a pain to get to. And then obviously Southampton, but that's how it is. But could have had an easier draw, but hey, as I said, we should have really beat them last time. I just hope we have some ball boys around the pitch to fag the ball. But, I doubt it. I doubt it very much. They'll use the same tactics, but hopefully we won't let them get a lead. That was the problem. Once they get a lead, they were just wasting time all over the place. So hopefully we can, stuff them this time. And as perhaps, we certainly should have won the last one. We certainly should have beat them at St Mary's. I'm sorry. We went a goal down, but we should have still have beat them.
Yeah, definitely. And then tomorrow, it is the big one, the Manchester derby. Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake are both ruled out with the injuries they got on Tuesday night. Pep Guardiola confirmed. City United then, the big one tomorrow. How are you feeling for it?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of United fans at work, so I've sort of been saying to me, it could go either. For me, it could go either way. It's just so hard to gauge. I mean, of course, we all want City to win, and my heart says City are going to win this. Obviously, I say looking back at stats, not very positive because Pep hasn't got a good record at the Etihad, of course, but we've got a great record at Old Trafford, so we would be okay if it was at Old Trafford. Probably we won't be as worried. But we know. I mean, I've been watching clips of United all week just because I don't watch them much. I don't, unless it's on Match of the Day, and even then I fast forward through it sometimes. I just don't want to watch them. It's as simple as that. But they do look good in snippets. But then you talk to United fans and they say they're rubbish. So I mean, this is it, isn't it? If you watch them week in, week out. But it'd be an interesting game. But as I think we've all said, if you look back at the games City have lost against United, in the overall scheme of things, it's never been a big deal. It's been a big deal because we don't like getting beat by them, but it's never affected anything. Like last year, we were 14 points clear. They beat us. We were only 11 points clear. It didn't make any difference. Yeah. The other season when they beat us 3-2, when Pogba turned into a world-class player for half a game, when they beat us 3-2, and we should have stuffed them. It didn't make any difference. We won the league the week after. So hopefully now there's a lot on this, which there is. I mean, let's face it, this is a must-win for City. If we don't win this, I would, even though people say, "Oh, don't worry, we can still do it." I would be seriously doubting that we will do it if we don't win this tomorrow. If we don't win this tomorrow, I would put Liverpool favourites, definitely, to win that title if we don't win it. So it's a must-win game. And usually City against United at the Etihad, must-win games. We've done it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Pep gets his act together and actually does it at the Etihad as we do it at Old Trafford. He gets it sorted out. But I do worry because United do have the players to hurt us in the same way Tottenham have the players to hurt us. Yourself, Charlie, United have pace. Something we don't like to play against. So people like Rodri are going to be key tomorrow. Rodri's got to have a cracking game because obviously he's going to get swamped. They've got not a bad midfield United. I'm quite impressed. Even Fred, we sort of wanted him, didn't we, at one stage? Even he's not been playing that bad. And I know we laugh about McTominay and everything, but hey, And De Gea's having a stormer, isn't he? I mean, if he keeps us out, I mean, anything can happen. Yeah, I have said 3-1 for City, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was 2-0 or 3-1 the other way either. It is a very hard game to call. I mean, I know we want City to win, but yeah, let's just hope we turn up. We've got to turn up, mate. As simple as that. Don't turn up against United in the same way we didn't against Tottenham. Because we've not played well, I don't think. All right, we beat Norwich 4-0, which is okay. But since the Chelsea game at the Etihad, the 1-0, that was the last time City were really at it. And that's, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And we played plenty of games then, and we've won plenty of games since. But we have to be at it, and we'll soon know. First 10 or 15 minutes, if we fly out of the traps, let's get in there. Don't let them get a lead. If we let them get a lead, we're in trouble. Let's make sure we score the first goal, because if they do it, it's going to be an uphill struggle.
Yeah. I have just heard news that at the moment, 10 minutes left, the under-18s are 5-1 up away at United. So hopefully that can be repeated tomorrow as
Could be
well.
a
6-1. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up there then. Just before we wrap it up, where can we find you, mate?
Yeah, so everything, if you go through Twitter now at Bernard_Dineen, you can get me on there. Obviously, my Citizen channels, everything City, past, present, and forever, as I say on there is my little slogan. And if you want to have a restaurant football, you might want to have a restaurant football after this derby game, if you want to put it to the back of your minds, or might want to revel in it. But yeah, I do film and TV stuff on my channel as well. So just get me on Twitter. I follow everyone back. If you follow me, I give everyone a follow back anyway. So follow me on there, and all my YouTube stuff you can get through at Bernard_Dineen. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cheers for coming on again, mate. So you can find me here, Dugout Daily on YouTube. Also hit the Apex on YouTube as well. Dugout Daily, of course, the football channel. Hit the Apex, the F1 channel. You can find me at MCFC on Twitter and at FootyAwayFans_. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all later. Everybody, take care and goodbye for now. Take care, everybody.